Okay, so I've just had hands-on with all of Samsung's new foldable lineup and the new watches, and I think they've done something pretty big here. Okay, so every year Samsung has two Unpacked events. The first one at the start of the year is for the S-series phones. The second one is for the foldables, the flippables, and the watches. That's the one that we've just had in London. I'm there now. So when this video comes out, I'm actually in London at the event. But a week ago, I had hands-on with all of this new stuff. We've got a new Fold. In fact, two new Folds, a new Flip, two new watches, and one of those devices out of the five that they've released is, I think, game-changing. Now, this is very much a first-hand impressions video, but all of my reviews of these devices will be coming out over the next few weeks, so make sure you hit subscribe. But there's loads to talk about today, and yes, one of those devices, it's big. Well, it's not big, but let's get into it. This is the Z Fold8, and it came out last year. It was a huge departure from the previous design. It's thinner, wider, just much better overall. It's still my favorite foldable on the market. We now have the Z Fold8 Ultra, which is replacing this one. The reason they've called this one the Ultra will become clear later, but it is their flagship foldable. It's also the slimmest fold ever, so it is slightly thinner when open than this. I think it's 0.1 millimeter thinner, so it's not really noticeable. What is noticeable is that even though it looks very similar to the 7, the 8 Ultra feels incredibly different. And this is for two reasons. One of them is because it's much easier to open. All foldables are pretty tricky to open. Sometimes you do that and eventually you get it. What Samsung has done is they've taken learnings from the Tri-Fold, which is it's their crazy triple folding thing, which we didn't get in the UK, but I did play with in Vegas earlier this year. They've taken the easy opening mechanism from that phone and applied it to the Z Fold8 Ultra, and it makes a huge difference. You can open that phone so easily. The second reason it feels very different is because the hinge on the 8 Ultra compared to the 7 snaps open really confidently. It's very I'm open, this is done. You don't need to worry about it. It's amazing how much different that feels as a device just based on those two things, but it does. Apparently they have replaced most of the elements on the Z Fold8 Ultra, so once again, although it looks relatively similar to this phone, it's actually very different. Now that hinge is pretty special. It uses something called Flex Titanium technology, which is a titanium alloy film under the OLED screen, so under the big screen, internal screen, plus a titanium plate, which means it's thinner, it's stronger, and there's less crease. Now the crease is still there because it will be. I don't think we're going to lose the crease ever, potentially, or not for a very long time. But if the crease bothers you, it's less on the Z Fold8 Ultra. It also has 3000 nits of peak brightness, which we didn't have before on this. I think that's 400 nits more than the Z Fold7, and it's anti-reflective. Again, something we didn't have on the Z Fold7. It's running the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy chip, which has got some meaningful upgrades in terms of CPU and GPU performance, and it has a 5000 milliamp hour battery. One of the big complaints about the Z Fold7 was the size of the battery compared to the likes of Oppo, Honor, etc., who had bigger and silicon kryptonite based batteries. This one in the Z Fold8 Ultra is bigger, much bigger than the one in the Z Fold7. It can do up to 27 hours of video playback. It has 45 watt wired charging, 20 watt wireless charging, and apparently it's made from silicon kryptonite. So, you know what I mean, silicon carbon stuff. I've not seen Unpacked yet because I'm filming this before the event, but at the briefing, it wasn't explicitly mentioned, but I did hear on the grapevine that it is indeed silicon carbon. So that can only be a good thing. The cameras haven't changed massively. It's still a 200 megapixel main camera, which is very good. Remember, that came from the S25 Ultra for the Z Fold7. That can now shoot HDR in 200 megapixel mode. The ultra wide has had quite a big upgrade, to be fair. It's gone from 12 megapixel to 50 megapixel. The telephoto, which that was the one that I wanted to be a bit better, is still 10 megapixel and 3 times telephoto. I don't know if it's any different in terms of the hardware, but I will find out when I do my full review. There is some new AI stuff, as you would expect. I won't go into all of that now, but we have improvements to Now Nudge. We have advanced automation across 40 plus apps, which I did see at the briefing. It's very impressive. This is when you can say to your phone, phone, book me an Uber to wherever, and it does it for you. It takes over, it fires up the Uber app, and it just does the entire thing without you having to lift a finger. The demo was very impressive. I need to try that myself. Price-wise, it's £1,899, which is still very expensive, but foldables are expensive, and we're living in a world of very expensive tech. However, on first impressions only, the Z Fold8 Ultra is still the most confident and, I think, the best looking and best performing foldable on the market. I think if you skipped the Z Fold 7, this might be the one to get. But keep watching. Quick one before we get back to it. This part of the video is brought to you by MemoKet. So, the MemoKet Gem. It's a wearable AI memory device, and the thing that I love about it straight away, being a massive Apple fanboy, is the fact that you don't have to ditch your Apple Watch. You can actually wear it alongside your Apple Watch using the Co-Wear band, or you can use its own wristband, pendant, or pin clip. It's genuinely versatile. But where it gets really interesting is what it actually does with your conversations. It's not just meeting summaries. It connects context across multiple conversations, so you can pull up weekly reports, project updates, travel notes, anything you can think of. You can ask it what changed, what was said, and what you need to do next. Action items go straight into Google Calendar and Apple Reminders, and those summaries and transcripts sync into Notion or Slack. For the early bird deal, it's just $179 in full, or $5 to reserve and $194 later. That's up to a 59% discount on the full package, which includes the device, charging dock, your choice of band, and a year's unlimited subscription. Go and check out that link in the description. Okay, onto the Z Flip or Z Flip, depending on where you are in the world. We do say Z in this country, it's not a big deal. This is the 7. The 8 is now with us, and it's not a massive change, to be honest. It's a bit thinner, it's lighter. The camera has the Pro Visual Engine now for better portraits and better bokeh, better background blur. It's got the Super Steady with horizontal lock for the flex cam video. That's when you hold it like that, and it's nice and steady now, which is fantastic. The flex window gets AI automation, an upgraded Now Brief that can hold or build custom cards into it and stuff. It's basically an AI/tiny kind of iterative update for it. It doesn't matter. This is a fantastic phone. Every time I review this, I just think, I wish I wanted it. I wish I needed it. But I'm a regular fold kind of guy. This isn't for me, but I completely understand why it's so popular. But there's more. Okay, let's do the watches very quickly. This is the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which I'm a big fan of, but the reason it's not charged is because 1, the battery isn't fantastic, and 2, the performance just doesn't match the Apple Watch Ultra. Fingers crossed that's been fixed with the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2. It has a Snapdragon chip for the first time ever, the Wear Elite, which apparently means 32% faster CPU and 19% faster GPU, and the battery is bigger. It's 800 milliamp hours, which apparently gives you 35% better battery than the one in here. It's also got the brightest screen on the market for smartwatches, 5,000 nits. The screen is slightly bigger thanks to thinner bezels. The titanium case is 12% thinner. The band is softer and lighter. It's got IP69K water resistance, so if you go diving, you can use it for that. And if you go trail running, if you're that crazy, it's got a trail running activity tracking thing on there as well. 649, 47mm only, grey and silver. It looks really nice. And it feels really nice. The big question is, would it replace this on my wrist? We'll find out. The other thing that Samsung has announced is the Watch 9. This is the Watch 8. I really like this. It's very, very comfortable, but again, the battery wasn't fantastic. The battery is bigger in one of the versions of the Watch 9. I think it's the 40mm version. Don't hold me to that, but they have done something to the battery. Also, it has the Snapdragon Wear Elite, the same one that's in the Ultra 2, 3,000 nits of peak brightness, and some new health stuff. So they're moving from a reactive approach to health to a preventative, proactive approach, which means they've got things like a heart health score, daily cardio load, and a fitness index all built into this watch. So it's kind of the everyday health companion. That's what they're calling the Watch 9, which isn't this, but you get the point. Right, let's get on to the really, really big news. A few weeks back, I made a video about the rumoured iPhone Ultra, which apparently is going to be a foldable based on this kind of form factor, a sort of passport-style book thing. And I mused in that video that sounds like the perfect foldable, in fact, maybe possibly the perfect phone form factor. Well, I think it is, because I've had hands-on with the Z Fold8, which, confusingly, isn't the update to the Z Fold 7. That's the Z Fold 8 Ultra. So that is now the flagship version of the foldable from Samsung. The Z Fold 8 is completely different. It's still a flagship. They're calling it a flagship, and the price does kind of suggest that it's a flagship. In fact, it confirms it's a flagship. And all the specs do as well. So it's got the same chip as the Z Fold8 Ultra. The only difference is really that the battery is slightly smaller, although it's still bigger than the one in the Z Fold 7, and it gives you more battery life. I think you get up to 26 hours of video playback. The screen isn't quite as bright. Oh, the cameras are different as well. So you get 2 cameras on the back versus the 3 that you get on the Z Fold 8 Ultra. The big difference is that form factor. The Z Fold 7, this isn't the best example, but it's kind of like that sort of difference. You have the tall one, and now you have this one. I won't beat around the bush. This is the first time since the iPhone Air, I think, that I've picked up a phone in recent years, and immediately, and without any prompting, I've just kind of gone, wow. It's really, really impressive. You want it immediately. As soon as you pick it up, you think, I need this. This is the phone I've been waiting for. It feels really good. It's got that clever hinge technology as well, so you snap it open and it just feels very confident. And what Samsung has done with this, they've built a phone which is aimed at people who consume content and people who use apps, which sounds like most people who use phones, doesn't it? Which is interesting. That front screen is perfect, or it seems to be perfect based on just a couple of hours of using this thing for scrolling through most apps. But when you open it, you get either a 4:3 aspect ratio kind of wide, where you can watch stuff on YouTube. And if you turn it to portrait, you get a 3:4 aspect ratio, which is fantastic for scrolling Instagram, doom scrolling Twitter, X, whatever it's called. That felt very natural on that portrait view. But again, turning it back to kind of book style, that got me excited because I'm reading a lot of books on the Kindle app on here at the moment. And the idea of this being a bit thinner, or a bit shorter, and a bit squatter, a bit more book-like, is very exciting. And they've thought about it from a photo perspective as well. So when you take photos in the camera app on the Z Fold 8, you can choose from predefined ratios which fit that screen. So they fit the screen perfectly, as in the big screen inside. So viewing those photos that you've just taken with your brand new Z Fold 8 look fantastic. What else can I say about it? Well, the price, it is £1,699 in the UK, so it's 200 quid less than the Z Fold 8 Ultra. So it becomes a question of whether or not you want that or that, what matters to you. And again, having been in the same room as these two phones and picked them both up, and knowing what can get people going about devices these days, and also the impact that the iPhone Air has had on people because it feels so different, this is in another league. It's completely in another realm when it comes to being a device that most people haven't held before. Now, I'm fully aware, and I can guarantee there'll be comments down there already. I'm aware that Huawei have done this for a while now. That there is a Huawei phone out there which is called the Pura X, is it, I think? I've never touched it. I know people that have, and they're very impressed by it. I know that's out there, and I know that has the exact same form factor roughly as the Z Fold 8, but you try buying a Huawei phone in anywhere apart from China and making it work like a Google Android phone, as Samsung does. Give that a go. Trust me. So Samsung isn't first to the post with this, but they will make this form factor far more widely available. And I think that's a really good thing. Hopefully, if this comes out on some very good carrier deals that make it more affordable, so you don't have to spend that 1,700 quid or dollars or whatever up front, then that could be very tempting for a lot of people. Because I think when you pick it up, you'll want it immediately. They've also done it before the iPhone event, which means if we do get and it is still a rumor at the moment, but if we do get the iPhone Ultra, the foldable iPhone, and it goes down the same design path as and form factor as the Z Fold 8, that's a really interesting battle, which I cannot wait to get into if it happens. But equally, I can't wait to get my hands properly on the Z Fold 8 and use it and give you a proper review, which I'll be doing in the next few weeks. So make sure you hit subscribe. This is a big deal, I think. I think Samsung has possibly nailed the foldable form factor. And I think people who have been holding off because these are a bit too expensive and just hard to justify, this could change their mind. But guys, it's over to you. Get involved in the comments. And remember, hit that subscribe button.